Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, new week. We appear to be having an up setup. If I can hold on, Ninja Trader is still loading here. Well, why don't we just grab the links while we're sitting here? Go. Okay. Okay, so we're starting right at the VWAP. We did test lower, but it did not go past Friday's low. We've had a lot of distribution here. There's a pretty good probability we're going to test the other side of this range, I think. Yeah. E-mini is down a little bit. There's more China trade war fears, and so I think the stage is set to move higher. I believe, though, you'd be careful about the continuation thing. It is a Monday. It is a little bit later in the month. I don't think. Hold on. Let's double check here. Should have no real news today. We got HPI later this week, FOMC statement, but I think that we could see quite a bit of slow action today and tomorrow. I don't know if there's any real reason for them to want to move it. And so, yeah, the Bitcoins have finally taken a significant hit. So there's that big move on the closing day. They moved up on the 21st, and now it's coming off. If we can see it come back to 6,400, maybe there's a chance they go through. Okay, so they're putting the pressure on it here. Interesting. It would come in down here. There's actually been a lot absorbed up in through here. I'm wondering if this is going to become like a bubble up move. Actually more interested in 19.5 if I can get it, though. I'm not so sure about hitting into it. So now they're hitting into it in the 5-year. I think what I would like to see is it come down here in some signs that they're really going to hold something like this 4071. No, that might be it right there. I don't know. I mean, it's in a spot where it could be breaking out, but there's just a lot of absorption both way on the 5-year. So I'm kind of seeing a bubble up move. The delta does say long. The delta was long, but the question is just, is it going to continue through here, or is it going to stop? Are we going to get filled and it's just going to careen against us? So you got this in the 5-year now. And this big order here in the 5 years is not as strong as it was. Okay. Interesting. Buyer somewhat insistent because they were starting to hit the sell button and he took it up. I don't know. So they're not like quite lined up. Like 09 is the middle here. So this one could be. Okay, 20 half is the middle here. 122 is the middle. This should actually be a tick higher. There's a lot absorbed on the bid there. Okay. So now you got this big one at 21. Acting like it's going to stand in the way. So if this really is like the bubble up, they'll plow through it. But there'll still be a lot traded there. So if I see an iceberg at 21, I'm not going to get overly excited. And set it up like that. That appears to be the line. Oh yeah. Okay, down a tick. So you can see it building there at 21. The 5-year again, what goes back up, the 10-year doesn't want to do it. They're afraid of the 21. Okay. We're getting this kind of action now. Okay. I think I need to see the tape because the way that it popped through there was a little weird. We need to see how many of those were big orders. And nothing, no big orders at 20.5. See, those are all little guys. Okay. So the 5-year actually ticked up there. I think range break 20 and higher and below 140 are going to be hard to fade. I'm still leaning move up as it seems like it's been 2 weeks since we've had a decent update. Yeah. Okay, they're hitting into the 21. I think, they hit 22 and there's 25 still on there, so I think we could still trade 5K at 21. And I can see guys in YouTube finally showing up. Good morning, guys. I wish I put timestamps on there and can't see how long ago they said that.
Comment saying second summit with Kim will happen soon.
I am not seeing the new Trump tweet. Last one was 13 hours ago. Trump says second, then it's coming through on the wires. Maybe it wasn't a tweet. Maybe I misunderstood him. A little bit of a flip in the dom there. Again. I made a comment yesterday on Twitter and I got a lot of retweets from it. Well, not, I got four and a bunch of likes. Interesting.
banking news. BaFin orders measures v money laundering at Deutsche Bank. Just covering that again. So Germany's BaFin orders preventative measures at Deutsche against money laundering and funding of terrorism. Germany's BaFin said ordered Deutsche Bank take appropriate safeguards comply with general diligence obligations.
Well, in more standard action, seeing the 6K iceberg there and then them being able to get the 5K iceberg on the bid would have been a good reason to get out or possibly go short. But given that we're having kind of a rangy bubble move, it ticked back up. Now, of course, they still have to take out the 21, and it could take a lot of volume, and they may not do it. But it is definitely that kind of tricky bubble action that can be so very difficult to trade. So a couple of them bought 21, it ticked back down, they bought 20 half too. Like, look, the big orders are all buying. It's kind of a little unusual to see the large orders so one-sided. I think it's a little suspicious. Man, I still got the sniffles, I'm sorry. You see, the book, the offer above us is much bigger than the bids. I've seen this before where we only get to one standard deviation above the VWAP. So like the 21. And then they never get any further. And then they go the other side and they're not able to get any further, like this 19. Although we're at a breakout, what should be like a breakout point, and we've been sitting here for a really long time now. And we continue to see some buying demand. See, they can't get any kind of pressure to follow through. And been actually pulled there a little bit of Dom flipped. Let's see here, what level was John looking at as the bull bear zone? We are above it, right? No, he hasn't posted yet. He hasn't sent it. So now we kind of have to think about it on our own. Well, we went down to 40 and we're at 16, 15, so it's going to be at 08 to 10. So we're right above or at the bull bear zone. Kind of depending on how you round. A little bit of selling in the 5-year. It's the most volume we've seen in anything for a while, at least. It's just a little trickle of orders here and there. It's super quiet. Well, they're absorbing a decent amount now in the 5-year, but the bid is weak. The weak offer in 30 that they're not really taking. Or taking and not holding strongly. Flipping the book again. Now they're holding it at 11.
Just picking up on the comment here from JP Morgan saying Trump's overconfidence may bring major miscalculation.
That was from where? Okay. Now a more significant flip in the book, the bid really pulled. Overall, it actually shows stacking there, but... Okay, they finally took 20.5 there. And 20 is not behaving very favorably. I see a bunch of people bailing at 20 now. It ticks back up. The 5-year at least. 125, 127. The thing that I think makes those kind of actions so difficult to trade is that it's slow. So you really have to be patient and wait for things to happen. And you can't really take them play by play. So we got a tick down there, but that down tick, then we immediately got some stacking. It almost was, it could tick back up here again. And there's no real way to do it. And so you kind of have to hold on to it, but then you could end up taking the loss. But then that's the only stuff that it's giving you is this teeny tiny little bit of volume play by play. And so you kind of end up having to read into every little tiny thing when those tiny things don't really tell you that much. I'm not seeing a trade so far. My guess is this could be raining the whole morning, but let's see what happens. Well, I don't know. I do see some reasons for people to be cautious. And it was like Igor mentioned, it's been a very, very long time since we've had any kind of update, and so it looks like we're kind of due for it. It's like this 10 to 6 area is kind of like the key battle zone in ZB. I'd like the book to look a little better on the bid side before I try, but I'm bullish above 04. Well, it is interesting that there's not a lot of bids below us, isn't it? I mean, if sellers were able to pile on and overwhelm things here, you have some reason to believe that there could be some drama down here. But it could be kind of the opposite, but just as frustrating kind of thing where it goes down and quickly comes right back on your face, as that it can collapse on you right after you get into the trade feel to it, like Friday. Yeah, exactly. Well, Friday was a little bit different because the action that I saw on Friday looked to me like the market maker intentionally trying to screw people over.
Heads up. Minutes we will Belgium data September.
So ZF ticked down there. You can see how influential this tick up and down is being, but it's not actually creating orders. Not many, at least. Well, my reference point was 10. Are you talking about me? Am I trapped? I mean, I could just sell it into 16. Wouldn't be the only retail trader that's selling into 20 right now. Okay.
.2. That's 1.2. That's beat minus 8 Belgium data.
So the 5-year is overall selling. See, these ticks down have been much faster and cleaner than the ticks up have been. So I think that the long argument is taking some real damage here.
Just hearing from ECB Draghi saying realignment of market expectations, those of the governing immediate smooth. Heads up, he has now started.
Well, I'm willing to hold my risk because of where ZF is. So it's below 117, or sorry, 11 3/4 is where, below that, we're wrong. They did take a hit there at 19.5 and not get it. Yeah, this could be a pullback as opposed to a reversal. Although it's been moving much better on the pullback than it did on the trend, if that's the case, right?
The markets are tightening and shortages in some areas.
The thing that yeah.
Rates. Number 20.
The thing that is preventing me from straight up selling it
goes on to say terminating net purchases by a certain date made it necessary to re-anchor the rate guidance.
Okay, they took me out. The thing that's preventing me from just straight up jumping out is that we haven't actually seen any big orders selling. You know?
Later. Then
Hmm. Okay, well now we're below the bull bear zone in ZB.
Draghi says relatively vigorous pickup in underlying inflation. Just an FX, we are seeing
Interesting.
by the day after. Euro.
You can see the FGVL, or where is it? I need to update a few. Rollover. Okay. Yeah. The currencies all kind of fell there. I'm very curious. Yep. Well, are we gonna break 14 though? Yeah, you can see them lining up there at it. I honestly did not. Ending net purchases doesn't mean that our monetary oh, okay. Now, if we come back to the 17.5, I think would be about where I want to take it short if they do it. 17 or 17.5 around there, I think. You can see them lining up. Some of them just gave up on 17 because of that downtick. Okay, I see some new guys in here. Uzi missed the big move again, huh? Well, that move was a little weird, right? Because it really was. Um, no, I don't think that this is the Chinese. I think that the ECB is being hawkish now, and that's pushing global yields down. Although you have to wonder why now? Why all of a sudden is Draghi being hawkish? Seems a little weird, doesn't it? Doesn't it? And it doesn't really, rising yields does not necessarily help the United States in the trade war, does it? So I don't know if there was a press conference or like how we would have even known that, but we were hearing it on the squawk when it was happening. I didn't completely interpret the words he was saying because I was just watching it fall apart and being like, okay. The thing is if you've got the ECB is now putting pressure, what really is there out there to stop us from falling down? At least to lows of the year, because I think that's the most hawkish we've been all year. The ECB is hawkish now. That's the most hawkish we've been all year. So I think this is a move that could continue. I kind of see a pullback setting up here. I don't know if they're ever going to get above 16.5 and touch my order. Yeah, all you can do is react. Yeah, well, yeah, I think in this case, I was long 20 and wrong at 19, and I got out for -2. And then after that, how would I know that it was going to continue down? It's a little difficult there at that spot, and then it fell 2 ticks to 18.5. And then I suppose I could have taken that trade once it touched the VWAP there, but I didn't really know what was going on. I didn't know that that could continue through. So it's just the way that it goes sometimes. So you keep seeing these big orders move between 16.5 and 17. Well, not big orders, but there's a little bit of wrangling between these two prices. You see, some actually pulled off 16.5 there. There's a significant bid at 16. Seeing another story coming on about the Supreme Court nomination fight, saying that the GOP knew about a new allegation last week and tried to rush confirmation vote. That's almost all pulling there at 17. The ZB is actually heading back down. That 5-year is not. So I think you're getting profit taking in the 5-year. And that's kind of screwing things up because this is a little weird. What does Master Yoda want me to explain here? So maybe a little early on that one. It's 38.65. And this pull into 3 is not quite what we wanted to see, is it? There. Well, I do see a flip in the bonds there.
Sectors giving rising domestic value added of Chinese exports.
Okay, that was a weird phrasing there. I think he's saying that's going to make all Chinese exports more expensive, right?
More from Moody's saying in products from China will be hardest hit from additional US tariffs on imports from China.
Yep. See that they're not hitting back into 17 is kind of key too, because there's a gap there, and they often like to fill those. There's a gap at
Emerging market news.
19,
As said to be in
by the way.
increase IMF credit line.
Yeah, it kind of still looks like profit taking to me. Does that move enter into the category of a smackdown for you guys? I think that it was just a news-driven move. The thing that's interesting about it, though, is that the 5-year never stopped selling. The 10-year was the one that was buying. But the 5-year was kind of a slow and steady sell the whole way. Okay, so they did buy it at 17. Yeah, Friday's move was a real. I mean, Friday's move, I think, was market maker driven, right? This move, I think, is news driven. And the thing you got to keep in mind with the news that's driving it is that this news appears to be driving currencies. Okay, like the euro moved up significantly on that move. And so you can get this situation where the move is going to respect the levels on the euro and not the levels in ZN. Right? So I think what you see placed on the DOM matters more. The problem you got now is in size. It moved away from its size, and maybe it moves away from it.
Earlier, the credit line would be increased by 3 billion, 5 billion.
understand that trade, but okay. So does CNBC have anything about it yet? Draghi warns of higher inflation. I just don't know, why is he talking about inflation now and not last week? Okay, so it was a speech. A lot of being absorbed here at 16.5. Okay, E-mini is opening. Initial selling. Okay, maybe a reversal there in the E-mini. I'm not seeing a bubble, but there was some sweeps long. Guess not.
Just getting more comments about
Seems exaggerated to alligator. Well, the E-mini is not stopping. It's pushed towards the overnight low. Okay, so now you're getting some absorption there at 9.24, 29.24. Nope. Sucks. Suck. Why did I sell what? This is not... Nope. So if we're talking about the previous sell in the treasuries, we thought that was the pullback. So I didn't think that it was a reversal. Now that we are here at the VWAP, we're looking for a potential VWAP bounce.
The European lawmaker on Brexit saying sufficient progress in divorce talks in October are a condition for extra Brexit summit in November. The next 4 weeks will be fundamental. Just a reminder, in under 10 minutes time, we do have the weekly ECB.
I like my position in the E-mini, but I don't like my position in the... Okay. I still think there could be a VWAP. So some buying here in the E-mini, but it's not really pushing through. It's in the 430 about 29, 25, 50. Okay. Well, that's good. Okay. Oh, why do I have it all the way up there? I don't want it all the way up there. I want it right there. Not there. Like that. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm still seeing some volume support here. This is the middle. So and just overcame a pretty big order there at 29.27.
Operation of fixed rates is zero.
This one could just break out higher again just for no reason. Yeah, see? A few too many people bought there at 29.28, I think. And then there's 1,000 there. So okay. It's really affecting the 5-year over here. The 5-year, this chart is screwed up. Okay. Okay. All right, well, maybe I just settle for that. Okay. filled and not cleared is good.
Emerging market news now picking up billion to 5 billion.
Good offer. Nobody hitting this. Oh, hey, Charlie Fox. Fox Charlie. Saw your video on Las Vegas conspiracy. I read you so much and agreed with you. You should start a non-conspiracy channel. Might be the only person I found on Utah that has common sense in regards to that incident. Well, I mean, one of these days I'm going to be super wrong on one of those things, so don't talk me up too much. Maybe these Kavanaugh allegations is one of them, because right now I feel like that the accusations against the Supreme Court justice is on the verge of mass hysteria. But maybe tomorrow some photo comes out showing him doing something really, really bad, and then I'm going to look really stupid, right? So... The Las Vegas conspiracy, the one though, the thing that I think is interesting about that one is I was like, look guys, all these things that you're pointing out about multiple shooters and stuff is kind of dumb.
Right, just a quick
Hold on.
that we've seen Michael Trump. Take a look at the actual speech in entirety. What he says, the passage that matters. Looking forward, annual rates of HICP inflation are likely to hold around current levels in months and are projected to reach 1.7% now in 20. This stable profile conceals a slowing contribution to non-core components, general index, and a relatively vigorous pickup in underlying inflation. Reflecting these dynamics, these three projections see inflation including reaching 1.0%, still below that 2%.
Well, that was not a positive sign. All right. Anyways, I'm like, oh, this.
Earlier from President Trump.
Okay, thank you. You don't need to keep talking, bro. I thought this thing is kind of dumb, and they're going to do an investigation, and then we'll know what the real deal is, and all of you people making up these theories are going to look really stupid. And then they never figured it out. Right? So that one is particularly weird, and I don't think that we were ever going to hear the end of that, the Las Vegas one. It's something else. I'm going to tell you what.
more from ECB's drag data in high yield debt. Some stretch.
I kind of think I should just leave it at that. It's funny that once again the E-mini trade saves me. How often has that happened?
Some more from drag.
And just then the wrong side of the pressure today for sure. I really thought that we were going to turn around there. So this trade, maybe I could have gotten a tick out of that if I had managed it a little bit better. Yeah, I should consider trading E-minis. I mean, I would love to trade E-mini if I had a bigger account. But I think that right now okay, wait. You're letting me get ADHD here. Hold on. So this one could have been break even. This one was wrong. It shouldn't have been -3 though. And then of course a good E-mini trade that was actually maybe worth a little bit more. And that one's a scratch and that one didn't work out. Okay. But yeah, it's many times where I've taken a couple of losing trades in Treasuries and then I had one good trade in the E-mini and we're good. Now, I don't know if we've taken enough of that in the E-mini to really know how effective it is. I don't think we've taken it 20 times yet, even. So one of these times I'm going to take that one and it's just going to buzz through me and I'm going to get some slippage and then we'll see how bad it actually is. Because it's pretty, when coming in here, if we really zoom in on it, I saw the absorption here. I saw it in the DOM, and so I took it, and then you could kind of see the cumulative delta coming in, and then you just take it to the other side of the volume profile. It's a really simple trade, to be honest. And it's really good risk reward because we're getting like 2 to 1 for the most part. So yeah. But I'm and I don't know if it's necessarily that I'm fast action driven so much as I am that I like to see a lot trading back and forth. There needs to be back and forth action, and there needs to be some trend. Here in the Treasuries, you get this sort of a thing. Seems like no matter how I play it, I get screwed over. I mean, that one I held on to it, and it could bubble up, but then then it came down, it stopped me out, and then the news came, and I'm of course not going along with it because I'm afraid that if I sell it, that's exactly where it's going to flip on me. Um, I mean, I have caught some good trades, and that one where they were selling, you know, that is one that maybe if I didn't have a position earlier, I would be okay with selling into. But anyways, the point of that was, let's keep in mind that it's been working pretty well so far, but we still have a very limited sample size for the e-mini trade. And the e-mini trade does require a lot, 10 times more risk, really, when you think about it, right? Because we're losing maybe 1 to 2 ticks, $15 to $30 on this, and this one we're losing 100 to 150. So I would need probably like a $20,000 account to be able to trade the E-mini like that. This is a little ironic because it did come completely back.
Bit of German equity news. 1,900 jobs cut in instead of the roughly 3,400.
The Bitcoin move at all? Nope. Nobody cares about the Bitcoin. Okay. See, that movement right there just kind of makes me think that it's ripe for a sell at 19. I'll take one more.
A bit more German equity news now. ThyssenKrupp deputy chairman Reuters needs a solution for company as a whole.
I think those bids right there might be fake. But that could be a lure as well. Sure enough.
It's more from Draghi that the valuation is important.
Sanhu Duhan. Hello. For those of you, I know there's always a few new people every day. We got like a group of like 6 or so regulars, but you know, about half the people are new. And if I don't respond to comments right away, just be patient. You know, usually around 8:30 is when I come in and I make sure that I answer everything. Or you can go into Discord and you get answers in Discord much faster. But sometimes we're just really focused on what's happening over here, and I don't see the chat, unfortunately. Okay. So they're just kind of rotating around 18.5 and not really doing anything. these two, both of them being 68 and everything, it's starting to look very suspicious to me. Is it possibly going to fall through here? Nope. There's some aggressive buying there at 12, but they're not holding it. Sorry, at 11, quartering the 5-year right there. Some orders kind of trickling in here, but it didn't actually build up and go. It's been doing this false breakout zipper sort of thing for a while now. Here you see there's false breakout, and now we're a tick lower, and are they going to say false breakout here? Or is it we're going to trade 18 again and just fall through? Okay. Sounds like the fam is late. It's 8:14. They haven't even started eating. Thoughts on how FOMC this Wednesday may affect markets tomorrow? Well, so today, I think without Draghi speaking, probably would have continued to have been a rangy day. Like, we might have come up to 22 and then not gone much further than that. Tuesday, so you get one of two things. It's either really dead, and given that it was pretty dead before this, I think there's a good chance it'll be pretty dead as well. And that kind of means that they're not expecting anything unusual to come out of the FOMC meeting. So I think this time that's probably more likely to be quiet, but you very often see in the days leading up to FOMC meetings some pretty strong trends. That was an interesting take. You do tend to see some pretty strong trends going into FOMC sometimes. And those trends often signal things, predict the outcome of the meeting. Kind of interesting how it works, but I sometimes wonder if there's some rumor passing or what. But so it's kind of like keep your powder dry, but don't freak out if a strong trend develops. So that last tick up kind of seems a little suspect to me, because the 5-year is really, really absorbing and saying that they're not going to let it go any further than that. Nope. See, they're not buying 19F, but 2,000 pulled. Well, all of my treasury trades failed today. They had some MFE. 2211. And I guess this is just an indication of random action. But that's too many losers there, so I can't take any more.
Fed manufacturing business index for September. It's a par of 30.9 for the August reading. Looking at the breakdown, the manufacturing index of general business manufacturing output index 29.3 previously. The manufacturing index of general business activity.
Being super difficult. I don't know how I should have traded. I know what we do know, right? This one first one we should have broken even on. We should have gone short here. This one we would have lost on, I know well, and then we should have stayed out. Now, I don't think that these were necessarily bad trades. I mean, here, the 20. Okay, well, it was near the view up, so I don't know about that one. I think it was actually here. Took it. Then the long 17. No. Sold 17. Okay. So there was a pivot. So that one was correct. 18.5. Yeah. Correct. Okay, so this last one we didn't get the right. This one we could have sold 19.5, but we shouldn't have. We didn't get a good price on that last one. Really made it look like it was going to fall, didn't it? And then they just squeezed us out.
Needs to be publishing their APP holding first for purchase 0.075. Well, ABSSP coming in at 6.957 billion. 74. We'll see SPP coming in at 9.7 billion.
Well, John did say key level to look at is 140, and we didn't go below that. So this continues to be super strong support. And the overall pressure is buying is kind of interesting, isn't it? It ended up being a range day anyways. That really screwed us up, didn't it? Oops, Top Step Trader.
Unlikely.
Webinar, Top Step Trader webinar later this week.
Emerging market. President Macri was their final agreement with IMF. Three minutes now. Manufacturing index September again a prior of 30 points. President, the IMF will include policy minute now until the bottom of the hour. Meaning that an IMF deal will be announced in a
Okay. Well, I don't know if it's gonna break out here. The 30-year just saw a lot of buying volume there. The 5-year, I mean, now we're getting up to that high point. The 5-year is not, still hasn't had the selling come in. Now they could stop at 12.75 for sure, but I'm not quite sure what Streamwood is doing. They did come back up to this big order that showed up underneath. Did ES eventually move lower? Yeah.
8.1 for the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Business Index, or the output index coming in at 23.3 in September versus a par of 29. Brexit news now. The UK no deal Brexit haulage paper saying in the event of a no deal, UK haulers could no longer rely on automatic recognition by the UK issued licensing. Comments now from Italian Deputy PM saying there is money to spend on citizens in the 2019 budget, and the France deficit target is 2.8% of GDP. Again, from the Italian Deputy Prime Minister, money to spend on citizens in the 2019 budget.
Okay, that pushed through there. Now there is a lot of size up here at 23. They've been moving away from liquidity all day. Interesting.
Bit of it is now being Deutsche G is in talks to buy Abraj Healthcare Fund.
Well, yeah, I should have taken less trades. I don't know what else to say. I'm kind of bummed out about it, but I mean, I'm still profitable. Right. Just really quick here. There we go. I don't know how far back we have to go. Let's just say June. Okay. It's 4:22.
Of US political. I'm picking up from Axios that Rosenstein is said to verbally resign to John Kelly. Can repeat that from Axios. That's Rosenstein is said to verbally resign to John Kelly, American attorney serving as the
Well, that is interesting. And the market reaction to it is even more interesting.
moving a bit lower following that piece.
This gets weird because Rosenstein is in charge of the Russia investigation, right? So if he just resigned, then who picks it up?
Signed to Kelly. Patient of being fired by was expected to be fired.
Wow, I can't. I didn't even like my brain is. Let's see what social media is saying. See if we get some reactions. New So are a lot of people seeing it? Okay. The Mueller is picking it up. Let's just search all over it for Rosenstein. And sort by new. Okay, so this is like fresh news. Hmm.
It's more from Draghi turning his attention to market, Turkey, and not material for Eurozone.
Okay, well, I would really like to stick around. This Rosenstein thing is a big deal. Lots of questions. I think it's better that we just remove ourselves from the situation for a moment and just let it see what happens. You know, we had a good mini trade. We're doing okay. It's fine. So anyways, we will talk to you tomorrow.